to order, and we will stand and say. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All to the community. I don't see anybody. Okay, we'll move on. Staff reports, we're just gonna table Kyle's until next month. And that brings us to Tricia with Community and Recreation Services.
Thank you, Vice Chair Phillips and commissioners. Rec is pretty active at the moment. Currently, General Acrylics is out resurfacing our basketball courts, so we're pretty excited about that. They should be completed by Sunday, which is awesome. And this way we'll swing into next week and winter practices right away. Aquatics has been busy helping special events staff out with all we've got going on. We've been working on, I don't know if you've seen the post, we've got a fun community rock hunt going on. This is our third year doing it, and it gets better and better each year. We had one of the little winners come in today, all excited. They found a bunch of rocks, but they had one winning. So they wanted to keep their winner and then go rehide the rest. So that's awesome. But there are about 50 or so rocks out there, and the community has really latched onto it. It's been really fun to see. Holiday home decorating contest. Entries are still being accepted until Sunday for that. And then we'll do the judging next week and post announcements about the winners thereafter. If you don't want to enter the contest itself, but you have decorated your home and want to be on our home tour list, feel free to email or use the online form to send your address, and we're adding that daily as well. The map is linked to the website already, so people can go in and take a look at that. Our next flag raising ceremony is next Friday, the 19th, and that'll be to honor Space Force. And we've reached out to Luke Air Force Base to send staff to serve as the flag detail for that. So if any of you are around, we'd love to have the support for that. Preschool students have been busy with all of their giving and caring lessons. Ms. Shea has been great with that. They did a food drive for Thanksgiving. They're doing a sock drive for Christmas time. Those are annual things they always do. And they're prepping gifts to their parents and guardians and getting ready for the holiday season. In terms of special events, we had our tree lighting ceremony last Friday. That was a nice community event, great feel. It was nice to see the crowds out there. We've got Christmas in the Park coming up this Saturday, which is from 9 to 3 in the square. And then the parade itself is at 10 a.m. as usual. The parade route has extended a little bit. The extended map is on the website and on our social media on the special events, and also city. I think Chuck posted a link to it the other day as well. So that route will come up Old Litchfield Road from by the lake as usual, but we'll, instead of making that left-hand turn on Wigwam Boulevard like in the past, it will extend past the restaurants to Village Parkway and turn left going westbound towards the new park. And then it'll turn south at La Loma and parade down that way around the park. And then it'll disband around City Hall on the west side of City Hall. So a little bit extended route. It's going to be interesting and fun to see it happen. So that does give people more opportunities to space out and watch it rather than bulk up in the center of everything. But the parade announcing will remain in the same place. We'll still be by the flagpole in the center of town. So that won't change. We're just extending some of the sound to push forward as well. So it can hopefully make its way towards the square. So hopefully you guys will all get out there at least at some point to enjoy it. We're looking forward to it. After the Sunday after, we've got the free holiday concert. It's an Arts in the Park concert on the Wigwam lawn. The Big Zephyr Band is doing a Christmas show from 3 to 5. So that should also be a good time. And preparing for the gathering, which happens in January. So lots going on in terms of events. And I know Pat has a lot going on with prepping for sports. I'll turn it over to him on that.
Thank you, Tricia. So our winter season, as Tricia mentioned, is underway. Our younger age basketball couldn't start practicing this week because of the resurfacing, but we're excited to get them started next week to start practicing. And then we have all our other sports. Our T-ball started practicing this week. They're using Jackie Robinson, obviously with the lights. We needed to have a field with lights, so we have them going over there. We currently have 488 kids registered in T-ball and in basketball the winter season. So this basketball is similar numbers as last year, but T-ball we did see an increase in our 5 and 6 age group. We're pretty close to maxing out there, and then our 3 and 4 age group, much like the fall, we had enough on the wait list to make 2 extra teams, so we did add those to this season. So we're excited to get the numbers, see the numbers continue to go with those. So we're ready to get the winter season before we close down for winter break, and then games start back up early January. So we have over 100 registered in the run that's in end of February. So we're still registering ongoing there until we get closer there. So we do expect to see those numbers go up, and then just prepping for other like third-party sports and getting those on the schedule. So and that's about it.
Any questions or comments?
Thank you.
Moving forward, approval of minutes, and this would be from the October 9th meeting.
The Vice Chair and Commissioners, the minutes are in your packet, and if you see anything that needs to be corrected, just let me know.
A motion to approve the minutes from the October meeting is written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
next is the formation of the America 250 Planning Committee.
Thank you, Vice Chair and Commissioners. We're in the process of preparing for already 4th of July activities. And as I'm sure you all know, this is going to be the 250th anniversary of celebrating the Declaration of Independence. Nationwide, there's a lot going on. America 250, statewide, same thing, Arizona 250. And we would like to form a committee to work on some activities related to that, in addition to just having the it'll still be July 3rd fireworks for us. And that is due to resources from Goodyear Fire and Avondale PD. That makes it easy all around for all 3 of our cities to keep things safe. But there are other activities surrounding America 250. There's a Liberty Bell that's making its way around, some other things that are happening that we really would like to form a committee and add some activities leading up to 4th of July that would make it an extra special year for us. So what we're asking for is a representative from RPG to serve on that committee to plan activities.
I'll volunteer. I don't know how it works, but I would love to volunteer.
I think you'd be great for it.
I have a question. How big of a committee are you thinking?
So we'd like a couple of citizens to be on it.
Mhm.
We would like a council member to be on it, a couple of our staff members. It doesn't need to be a huge committee, just a steering committee and some people that are willing to look into ideas, follow up with others, and help plan the extra activities that may surround it.
What about, would it be a good idea maybe to include somebody from the elementary school district? Or maybe even the
I
high,
think it's, yeah, I think it's a great idea.
just so we have
Mhm.
that input and,
Couple representatives from
Yeah.
other nonprofits. I was thinking also Blue Star Mom representative, people that have a
Historical
true,
museum.
yeah, historical society. So we've got a good group that kind of is representative of city, community, and that has some interest in these particular type of
Right.
activities that can really push forward something fun and exciting.
not only will we have ideas that way, but we'll have like a little bit of a workforce.
Yes. That is always helpful.
Okay.
So we are asking for the commission to move to approve the appointment of whichever commissioner you guys deem appropriate.
I'd
Well,
like to make a motion that we move for Commissioner Giordano to be the representative on RPG.
and I'll second that.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Well done,
Thank you.
Kristen.
I'll take
Thank
it,
you.
yeah.
Welcome, I'll deal with you separately.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we will again table, excuse me, the water conservation project till next time. And that means that we will move on to yard of the quarter. And let me see. I am not good at this, but hang on. I never use an iPad, you guys.
You're okay.
Well, somebody can start. Go ahead.
I'll just share that I'm sure you all recall that at our last meeting,
Yeah.
discussion was held about the possibility of council removing yard of the quarter from the commission duties. I know you all unanimously agreed to put that to council if we could. I said I would talk to Matthew about that, the city manager, to discuss it. And after the discussion with him, he did bring it to council at their meeting.
Okay.
Their discussion on that was that they do not want you guys to have that removed. They don't want it stricken from the code. And they do want you to move forward with yard of the quarter. And I certainly welcome Councilman James to share some insight from the council perspective as well on that.
Thank you, Tricia. I think that the theme that came out of it from council was that we don't want this committee to feel, this commission to feel stagnant. And maybe that was kind of what we got was we don't understand the yard of the quarter. We don't understand, but so really what it came, and you can correct me but was we would like to see more of a reinvention of this committee in general. Let's not just focus on the parks and the public spaces. Let's focus on the entire city. And what continually comes up is we have eyes, like in Public Works, that are out in the city every day that see the same problems, but yet those problems don't get corrected. We have road issues that don't get corrected. We have, lights on the palm trees that look bad, and it takes a certain business owner to text the city manager to say, hey, we got this going on. And so really that was what was basically voiced, was we'd like to see this committee be more of like the eyes in the community. When you see something, say something. So Paige Peterson has been appointed essentially the director of Public Works Special Projects. She's kind of managing a punch list of things that we see. And I don't know how the communication of that would work, maybe via Tricia to Paige, but you live on your street and you see a pothole and you drive over it every day. If you see something, say something. Say something. Let's be the eyes in our community, and let's not just be specific to our 4 or 5 parks we have, to everything you see. You see a sprinkler that's out. You see, because obviously other people are seeing stuff, but we're not saying stuff. And that was kind of what council. And do you feel like I'm representing this accurately?
Yeah.
Yeah, is just embrace this role as not just like all, as just the parks, that is all public ground in this city. And if we see something, let's make sure we're communicating it to Trissa so that she can get that to Paige so that it gets on the public works or whoever's list and then it gets rectified. The fairway, the other day, driving down Fairway is a disaster. The road is terrible. And that, I don't drive down, do y'all drive down Fairway very often? You do, I don't. But I drove down it and I was like, wow, how did we let this get to this point? You know, the intersection at Dysart and Camelback right now, bad. There's probably 15 potholes in that. And so, but if nobody says something, how's it going to get on the radar? Because as you're well aware, there's so much going on right now with the downtown and the hilltop and everything that's going on. So I think that was really be empowered to be the eyes of the community and relay that via Tricia to Paige so that we can get this working punch list going. So
I can appreciate that is something that we should all be doing. I don't understand how it relates to Yard of the Quarter.
yes, go ahead.
So I don't think that there's a specific correlation between the eyes and ears part. Like Councilmember James said, you see those things, bring them to us so that we can work on them. But in the same fashion, when you see good happening, when you see a yard or a home that is looking fantastic or that has done some upgrades, so in the same vein, let's point those out as well so that you guys are calling attention to those good things and also helping staff recognize those things that still need to be worked on. So it's both that council is asking of you guys.
Okay, and
Hopefully I'm
we can kind of address that in that we are very, very, very open to having good things brought to the attention, but not picking one out and voting on it. We want the community to submit and say, hey, look what I saw. This is great. We can do the same thing. But I think to be selecting one where we can't even get into all the neighborhoods in Litchfield, voting on it when none of us have any professional background at all, and saying that my taste is different and better than your taste because of what you chose, and then putting that out there in social media, to me, in this day and age, just seems inappropriate. I am all for acknowledging beautiful flowers that are out there. And so maybe rather than calling it Yard of the Quarter, we just come up with a whole new name, you know, like Pretty in the Park. I don't know, you know, but that's my thought. Brian.
I think that the Yard of the Quarter program kind of got, I don't know, lost its original purpose when it started to be very formalized. Like it seems like the problems are with the process that we have with it now, where it is nominating and voting and then trying to, like, the quadrant, like we're focusing on one quadrant. Whereas if it is more organic and we're out and we see someone that is taking good care of it, then we can nominate it and agree on one that's the best. But I don't think we need to go through with the rubric that we had used. It's like rating it on a scale of 1 to 5 and adding it up and that kind of aspect.
But why do we even have to pick the best? Why don't we just put it out on social media, you know, and say,
If there's
hey, why do we have to
that we
pick
want
that?
to recognize, we could recognize.
Well, I
two.
mean-
I don't think there's anything against that.
Right, but there's social media posts every day, you know, from Instagram to Facebook. So we could have a house on there every single day if we wanted to, couldn't we? I mean,
You could.
we could.
Yeah, I think, keep in mind that our code does say for formal recognition by council. So we still have to figure that piece of it out.
Well, can't the codes be changed?
So that's what you just asked for, and council came back and said, no, not at this time.
It says recommend quarterly for formal recognition by the council, those homeowners who have maintained or enhanced their property.
So what if we
So it doesn't have
just
to be just like
reworded it?
the one person, like the way we're doing it now is like picking one person from a specific area. Like,
I-
we don't have to vote on them if we nominate 5.
But all
It could be
five.
5.
I think Commissioner Faith has a really good point. Maybe the voting is hanging you guys up. But if you guys come to each other and say, I saw this one and it was fantastic, and
Mhm.
I saw this one and it was fantastic, let's bring them to council so that we can highlight them to formally to council and to the city. So maybe that hangup is the voting and the process that's going through that, and that's weighing down on what's really being asked from council of you guys. So maybe we rethink that part.
So sorry, I kind of went down the wrong rabbit hole about eyes in the community, but council would very much like the program to continue. And
Do they realize how it operates?
I mean, how are you gonna go evaluate Christmas lights? What makes you a subject matter expert to evaluate Christmas lights? You're gonna go look and you're gonna make a decision with, and I don't know if that's a unilateral or if you have a couple of people that you decide.
Few people judging and
Think the
giving their opinions, yeah.
very confident, very proud of this commission and trust that this commission is going to make a nice decision and continue to bring us forward a yard every quarter. I think the last yard of the quarter we had, they brought their landscaper in and it was a kind of a nice deal where we recognized the landscaper who did the yard. It's so yeah. And I don't believe that with what's going on right now, we're not really looking to rewrite this code right now.
But they do realize we can't get into like 3 communities.
There, and did we talk about that? I can't remember.
That was one of the things that I shared, but I don't think we got it got addressed specifically during the meeting.
So we're just talking about what the village is, or
The village,
the Greens,
the one north of
Sunset Terrace.
Sunset Terrace.
and Cache, I don't think we can get in.
They're. Sorry.
Oh, Christoph.
Feels like half a second, you're good. So, I mean, we've been here a long time, right? We've seen this thing, I think maybe ebb and flow a little bit. And part of it was, I think, on us that maybe we weren't submitting things as frequently, and then we would come with 1 or 2 suggestions. I agree with Commissioner Faith that we don't need to make it 1. We don't need to over formalize it. But, you know, job description as we do this, and I think that's that. We have a lot of leeway in how we go about doing it. So, I mean, the one thing I don't know, we don't need to keep the quadrants, we don't need to over formalize that, but I would encourage us to retain the lessons of why we did those things. So it's not just like the street that I drive down, it's the only street I ever
Right.
look at, which leads into what Councilmember James was saying, is like keep our, go around the community, right? It's just part of what we should be doing. Like if you haven't seen the park in 6 months, probably an issue, right? Go see that park. So I think that leads itself naturally into it. When is our next one due, or is it, I mean,
We sort of missed one.
we've missed.
So,
Well,
yeah,
is
right
it-
now we're in that December timeframe where all the lights are on and that makes it difficult to do anything but see Christmas lights up everywhere. So I think if we figure out how we want to work this so that January and that new year, we start those 4 quarters again. And this gives us a little bit of time over the next couple of weeks to figure something out.
Yeah, I would suggest that, we're not gonna go to commission jail if we're not doing it this quarter, right? So that's probably okay.
We didn't do it last year because of Christmas lights in December. We paused, if I remember correctly, because of Christmas lights.
You guys did decide to pause because of Christmas lights. However, in the past, you guys
Yeah.
were doing them all 4 quarters.
You probably just bring it up to October next year, or like do it earlier, so it's,
Conflicting.
yeah.
So maybe if
Brian?
we,
Oh, sorry.
no,
Christoph.
no, if we just take maybe the next month, we have to think about how we might want to structure the discussion if everybody came with at least 1 home. And I don't think that's unreasonable to ask of ourselves, is like, come with at least one. And I know we're not experts, but at the end of the day, it's not like we're telling everyone else their yard isn't good and we're all lining them up and saying, you guys suck and you guys are great. We're just trying to encourage people to have nice yards. And like, And if we want to advocate for yards where people put in the work themselves, and I've seen people do it, that's great. We can do that.
What if we came up with a new name?
I think that's in the code.
No,
Yard of the quarter?
I don't think so.
No?
Nope. Recommend quarterly for formal recognition by the council, those homeowners who have maintained, it's not in here.
Okay.
So I think that would be helpful in that, because what if we have 2 or 3 each quarter? If we, because weren't we talking that we wouldn't necessarily have to have a winner? Or did I miss that?
Yeah.
Turn it into yards, or if you guys have a better name.
I think it is something that could be more organic, where like we should have at least one.
Yeah.
But like if I go around and I don't see any house that, you know, is obvious as someone that should be recognized, like, I don't know that I need to nominate somebody, you know, like, just nominating for the sake of it is kind of going down the rabbit hole
Yeah.
before and just trying to get enough out there so we can pick one.
What if we,
And I-
oh, sorry.
And just going back to prior part, I don't think it's an issue that we don't get into the HOA communities that are gated. Like, I don't think it's an issue.
Why?
If they're not
There's no yards in
part of it, you know?
There really is no yards in Cache to look at, because it's, but
Yeah.
I mean, I find myself in these communities. Do you guys find yourself in Sunset Terrace on occasion, or like
Yeah.
on occasion?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Never driven through that community,
Which one, Sunset Terrace?
Oh.
It's big.
Yeah.
It's lots.
not once.
Can be,
I will admit that right now.
can be a big focal point when we build a roundabout there, but, yeah, I think, I think you both said it really perfectly. Is council would just very much like for the program to continue, and by whatever means or metrics, and if you come up with 5 and you come up with 1 and we're not, so you're not passing judgment on the community as this one's better than that. We like the program. We want the program to continue. So,
Then if we're not passing judgment, I think we do need a new name, because yard of the quarter to me says, I won. So I think we should put our creative little thinking hats on and come up with a new name that's a little bit broader, that doesn't necessarily say, I picked you and you won. That's, you know.
I'm not sure how to balance out recognition with softer words, right? I mean, at some point we're saying that, like, we're recognizing this as special. And that implies it's outstanding in one way or another.
You could have 2 yards a quarter.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. And if we show up with so many that we're like, hey, unless they let this yard go, this is next quarter, done, right? That's fine.
Kristen, any comment?
Too many. But they're not gonna go anywhere, so I will keep them to myself on this one.
Okay.
It's a first world problem for me. I actually talked to Paul about this. He kind of blindsided me with it. So I get it. I get the why. I get the why to a point. One of the things we mentioned was lack of knowledge about it. There were even members of yours who didn't know that we were even a part of it anymore, or how we did it. I know there's a lot of community members that I talk to who are like, we do that still.
Mhm.
So that was kind of part of it, like our time could be used
Other places?
other ways. And like, to the point of what we were saying too, we have a new social media that's been talked about a lot. Hey, we have this, we do this now, look what we can do. That can literally do it, like in the moment, like in that second. I'm recognizing this home right now. Boom, they've got the recognition. It's instant and it's done. You know, I don't know. And if we're doing 5, are we going to recognize 5 people at the meetings?
I don't
Like,
see
how did
why-
that
I don't
work?
see
You know
why
what I mean?
you
I
couldn't.
think you could.
We could certainly provide.
I'm just
those
curious,
addresses
you know what I
to
mean, like
council.
what that looks like.
And, yeah,
But that was kind of our, like my, I think, kind of our take on that was, we get it. And there's just a logical way to do it instantly. Why does it have to be a quarter when it can just be, I'm right here in front of this house. This is amazing. I'm right here in front of the park and it looks beautiful today. I'm right here in front of this flower bed and it looks gorgeous. You know, these lights got fixed and they look beautiful. I think that it's can just literally be done instantaneous. And I think that will get more community involvement than something that happens once a quarter that nobody knows about.
Yeah, because we've always wanted community
Fair.
input. And we've tried and we've
That's
gotten
fair.
two
Mhm,
in
to
like
do both.
the
Mhm.
4 years we've tried to do it. So that might be a way too, to get more community input, because I think what you guys are saying is we need to be the eyes, and we're showing the potholes. We're making, that known, but we're also want the good stuff to be known.
Well, like Brian just said, maybe that is a way to do both. Like maybe if we do have someone out there saying, I see this, I recognize it, it allows us to go, and that is community involvement. What got a lot of likes? What got comments on
Right.
it? And then maybe that's how it takes 2 seconds to look at our social media page to see what it was. And then we can go look and say, I agree, I like that house, or, whatever it may be, maybe, and that can get that involvement we're looking for. But
Yeah, if you could do it instantaneously, organically, and then from that have
let that build.
whatever,
Mhm.
however many be recognized in front of council.
Mhm.
Because I think that that's, an important part of it
Mm.
too, is the recognition in front
Right,
Yeah.
right.
of people, in
Yeah.
front of council, not just the sign and
Mhm.
social media, but like the,
Yeah.
old school in
The
person.
old school way. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, get that. So I think I get it. I get it from both sides. I really do, but I just think it's kind of outdated. And focus could be otherwhere.
We have spent an inordinate amount of time talking about this program the last many, many years.
Yeah, you want to see
And I would love for it to just be a
Decided.
quick, like, I recognize this. Here's a picture. Yep, that looks great.
Yep.
It's
Put it
social
out
media, let's pick one, we'll recognize it, and then just go on. No rubrics, no voting, no tallying votes, no trying to pick a house when you don't find any that
How do you pick one?
are like that stand out,
How do you pick one though?
What do you mean?
One idea is, why don't we just assign one commissioner to do a quarter? Just pick one. I mean, we're here I'm not saying that we're experts in architecture or horticulture or anything, but we can pick a good looking house and be responsible for that and bring it to you guys, and everyone agree, yes, don't agree, fine. And it doesn't need to be as complicated as we're making.
Chairman,
If we have a ton of people on social media and all this data coming at us, well, this is great, we can do that. But if not, just one person is responsible for bringing the house and asking for a decision.
yeah. Chairman Taddy, would you like to chime in?
Hey, everybody. Good to see everyone. Sorry I was a little late getting on tonight. Yeah, I would say a couple of things, I guess. First, really like hearing the conversation, I kind of got on just as you guys were getting started on this. I think something that occurs to me is we've tried so many different things to try and generate community involvement. And I think at the heart of this, the community involvement is really the goal, right? To get everybody kind of looking at how, the neighborhoods, or how, different individual homes are kind of taking care and then being recognized for taking care of their properties. But it seems like that's where we miss. It seems like the community involvement has just never gotten past, 4 or 5, maybe not even that many, 3 or 4 people from the community nominating. And if we could solve that piece, if we could somehow, is it greater social media outreach? Is it flyers at the next event in the park? Is it some kind of large announcement? Is it a combination of those things? Is it combining Yard of the Quarter? So for example, we have this amazing Christmas contest that involves everybody. That should be our Yard of the Quarter. The winners of the Christmas, in my opinion, the winners of the Christmas decoration, they're Yard of the Quarter for the wintertime. in my opinion. But beyond that, how would we carry over? We get great community involvement when it comes to the Christmas lights. How do we carry that into the springtime for the following yard of the quarter? Because really the community involvement, I think, is at the heart of this. And we've never been able to kind of get that to increase through our efforts. And maybe I'm missing it. Maybe that's not the goal of it. Maybe the goal of it is just to have some sort of a recognition award. But really, I think what works with this program is to have greater community involvement. And that's, I guess, my 2 cents on it. And it's good to see everybody, by the way.
Good to see
Good
you.
to see you.
Anthony. Thank you for that. So just sort of summarizing, yard of the quarter in some way, shape, or form is going to stay. We have lots of options. And I don't know how to decide what to do going forward. I kind of like Christoph's idea where one commissioner takes a quarter and brings a home to the group, and then it goes from there and gets put on social media. I guess personally, I would also like to see us work on, however, just to get more people involved from the community so that we get input also from the community. And even if we just put them out there, but I do kind of like your idea, Christoph, about one per quarter, and then we go yay or nay.
And if you want to bring 3 and say, I think it's this one, but you guys let me know, then bring 3. It's up to you.
Would anybody be open to that with a new name?
I want to address what Anthony had said,
Okay.
because I think sort of it would be great if we did have community involvement.
Yeah.
But it's also a very mundane, you're not putting out lights and decorating your house like for a special occasion. It's like everyday landscaping for the most part.
Yeah.
And it would be great if we could have community involvement in that type of way. And we have tried that. And it has not been successful. And I think now we're kind of looking at it again. And I don't know about doubling down on trying to get more community involvement. I think it is more like a recognition thing, point out something good. As commissioners, I think we should all be going around the city like at least once a month, just drive around, look at everything. And I mean, you see houses that are getting new landscaping or, getting remodeled or look exceptionally nice or changed or something new or different that would be, easy to pick out and identify as, congratulate them or, recognize them in front of council. And at the same time, we pick out the potholes.
Or the flooding on Laguna.
And then we could focus our time on the community, real community involvement things that we can get the community behind, like the tree painting and maybe other events that we can get community engagement in.
Councilman Jane?
I would just say, everybody on council is volunteer, everybody on this commission is volunteer, and I think what's not lost is how much we appreciate your involvement in this community, your ability to step up and volunteer to serve in this community. Do you know during the last election, which was a presidential election, do you know how many residents we have in Litchfield Park? About 6,500. Do you know how many voted? 1,400. So when we start talking, yeah, correct. So when we start talking about community involvement, I think I take that for what it is, and appreciate you guys doing what I'm on the committee, but appreciate what we do, and just think we just need to continue it, not overcomplicate it. And but yes, what's not fallen on deaf ears is that could it be better? Yes. Should it be better? We have a communications director for the city. There's a lot of different opportunities it could pursue, but for the time being, I would say let's you know, if we could just kind of continue down the path and then we'll just, I'm sure Yosha's got some ideas that we could incorporate as
Yeah.
well, so.
Mhm. And I have talked to Yosha, and she and Chuck can work with us to figure something out about highlighting, showcasing, and perhaps we flip it so that we're doing it on the front end and not waiting till we've got the votes and then highlighting. Maybe we push from the front end to get to that point each quarter. Just one way to, I mean, we can work on those details with Yosha and Chuck, but.
So what action do we need to, if Yard of the Quarter is staying, but there are going to be some changes, do we need to have an action, have a vote or anything? Or do we,
I mean, unless you're making some significant changes that you want to make sure that everybody weighs in on and votes to approve or votes down, I don't think you need a formal vote on anything.
okay. How does everyone feel about Christoph's suggestion of one commissioner, one quarter, one house?
I
Yeah.
loved it.
Anthony gives a thumbs up. Are we good with that?
Yeah, and I'll take the ball by or by taking the first one.
Smart.
I have a suggestion.
Yes.
Perhaps each commissioner could have an area, you know. I live in the villages. Before every meeting, I drive around the villages or, you know, make note of things that could be improved and things that are good. And like, we just go around real quick and say and tell Kyle, like, hey, there's potholes here, or you point out a house that way. Like, we could separate it like that instead of making one person responsible for the entire city. We could each be responsible for the areas that we frequent the most.
You're more on the topic of just generally surveying the city.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that, you know, the Yard of the Quarter falls into that. You know, if you're looking for bad things, you see good things too.
But we might not have enough areas covered that way.
Yeah.
It's the only thing, thing
Yeah.
I can see is we may not get everything covered that we should, even in the areas that we can readily access. But
Yeah, I mean, you could add a spot, you know,
I just
take
think
a
it's,
different way home from the grocery store.
yeah, I think it's good
Every
for
other
us to
day,
cruise
every
around
time,
and see
you know?
everything anyhow, but yeah.
Right, yeah, but we could at least, I don't know, if we were given a specific area to focus on, because it is, I mean, it's easy to drive around the main streets of the city, but to go down every
Mm-hmm.
cul-de-sac.
Yep.
That's a lot of time and
Yep.
miles for every one of us to be covering regularly.
Yeah, no, I
Whereas we
don't,
could kind of divide and conquer
Yeah.
to do, you know, two birds with one stone, you know, the Yard of the Quarter and
Yeah.
um,
Areas that need
Years.
help.
yeah. But sorry, I didn't mean to derail
No.
otherwise, yes,
Okay.
I agree with that.
I don't know how to proceed.
So if you go that route, now you've got to kind of sort through who's going to do
Right.
what. So maybe you guys take a look at that map, and then in January you come back and say, I'd like to cover X, Y, and Z. And then you work out and make sure everybody's pretty much covering the entirety of the city by where you've picked. You might have to kind of talk that through at the January meeting, but if you guys are all taking a look and.
So what if we table the discussion for right now until January, knowing that Yard of the Quarter in a new format with possibly a new name will show up again in 2026? Christoph.
yeah, no objection to that. I was gonna say that we don't need to be strict about the quadrants. I think we did divide the city up nicely into about even sized chunks, so if we
Mhm.
would reuse that and then more just like, all right, go look at 5. That
Mhm.
would be a forcing mechanism. Maybe also for that agenda, we could go more into what Councilmember James had suggested in terms of us taking survey of the city, and I think there's
Yeah.
maybe two categories of things. There's like, obviously, the broken light bulbs and the potholes get fixed, right? But then there's you know what, I noticed the playground equipment here is older, you know, this area is not as nice landscaping wise. There's things that are more discretionary or dip into for these sorts of things, and maybe we need to spend some time collecting all those possibilities and have a working session where we can rank order them. And maybe with staff's input on, you know, we could gauge the impact we think it would have by improving the community. Would that be one axis? And you could gauge the cost of doing that thing. Then we could find high impact, low cost things that we could improve. It's just an idea for our January agenda to kind of continue with this theme of let's be out there, find things.
Okay, Anthony, anything you'd like to add to that? Tabling the discussion till January?
No, I think that's a great plan moving forward, and I have to imagine there'll be all kinds of social media regarding the Christmas lights again. So maybe we could link in, hey, you know, as we're doing that post, we could link in, hey, let's everybody keep our eyes open for the post upcoming for Yard of the Quarter happening January, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like just so that we could maybe ride some of that steam, you know, catch some of that steam and carry that momentum forward. Great discussion, by the way, everybody.
I just have one question for Councilman James. So the fact that we can't get into those areas, like we just ignore that? I don't know how.
I have codes for all.
Mhm.
I have codes for all. I can share it with you. Yeah. So
I think if you're going the route of it's just one or two of you that need access, rather than the entirety of you guys,
Okay.
we can work with those HOAs again to see if we can say, these two people for the entirety of the year, how do we get them access so at their convenience, they can come and try to identify both things that may need to be addressed in the city and homes that are beautiful or making great improvements. That we have these commissioners, they have been appointed by our council, and we need them to have access to this community. Not all of them, but maybe two in each of those communities, so that if you guys are assigning or thinking about where you want to be, that we can say these two names for the entire year. Please, when they come up, allow them access.
And
See where that takes us.
Privately, like the HOAs are in charge of the road.
Yeah.
Or at least some of the gated communities.
all the gated communities, they're
Yeah.
responsible for their own road maintenance and
Okay.
landscaping. But yeah, I mean, there's landscapers and pool guys going in every day to these
Yeah.
communities. I can't foresee.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, good, really good points, everybody. But yeah, and to your point, I think you were kind of implying more down like our capital improvement projects. If we see something that needs to be fixed, it can be fixed like that. If there's, you know, potholes like that but I will tell you that this is exactly how, you know, we manage that CIP list every year of what we've got to do. And we try to manage that with our budget and all the other long-term projects. But this is where it perpetuates when you see, hey, I just drove down this street and we had a rainstorm and there was a bunch of water puddled up. There was flooding. We need a storm drain there. So the street I live on, Oro Vista, right at the bottom of my street, same thing.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, that's not a readily available thing. That's a large capital improvement project, but that's how it gets on that list. And if it doesn't get on that list, it's not going to get addressed. So, but yeah, really good discussion and yeah, appreciate it.
So let's table this till January. And it sounds like we will do one person, one area, bring things that need attention and a house that really grabbed your eye. And then possibly even somebody gets creative and comes up with a new name that's not quite as, you know, I won the trophy. And then we'll discuss in January.
It feels like you kind of got the lead on that one. Feels like you kind of got the lead on that one, right?
There's gotta-
Participation Yard of the quarter.
Okay, any more discussion on that? All right, we will move on to Commissioner's report on current events. We'll start with Kristen.
I don't know that I have anything. I had family at the tree lighting who loved it. I was surprising a best friend out of town, so I was not here for it. I actually, funny story, we walked down there the Friday before, forgetting that it was the wigwam.
Oh, tree.
So we hung out, and I'm like, man, this is really quiet right now. What's going on? So we got some ribbons and sat for a minute. I was like, it's next week. So my kids went and they loved it, and it was really good. Everything, the lights, everything looks good.
Yeah. Brian?
I went to the Touch a Truck for the first time, and
Oh,
there was a lot of different vendors and people that brought their equipment out and let the kids just crawl all over it. Absolute chaos. But yeah, it was fun. It was impressive.
Yep.
You know, the amount of involvement that we got from people just willing to let people
Yeah.
crawl all over their trucks and pull the horns. It was pretty cool.
Commissioner Taddy?
So I'm out at the circle in downtown last night, and it was dark out, and the trees were all lit up, and I was just like, "Holy cow, man! This just looks so beautiful." So just such a compliment to how well everything's been going. Looking really forward to the Christmas parade this weekend. And I love the fact that now we got these events going straight into the new park, man. It's you just see a ton of people there. There's always at least, a few families playing in the playground and just walking the park. You have some of these, there's a car club that meets there now, kind of unofficially. I mean, it's really cool the way like there's a lot of stuff happening kind of organically without really being planned. And just so excited for the future of what's happening in the park and the events that we'll be able to see. And a big compliment to the crews, man. The park looks great, the lights look great, everything's awesome.
We'll stop.
Yeah, I'll second that. The decorations look great. Good job, staff, selecting the final decorations there. And I really like the colors we've used this year on the palm trees. Like it's a lot warmer versus like the contrast we had, or the contrast we would have if we leave like the white lights on for the rest of the year. But it looks phenomenal. Also looking forward to Christmas in the park. Always a great event.
I would just say ditto what everybody said, because that's what I was going to say. Yeah, and the tree lighting was fun for the very first time. Yeah, we had, I think, a really good turnout. Santa was great. Yeah. Anybody else? Anything? Commissioner James?
I would, it's almost easier, it's almost easier to just open the forum and say if there's any specific questions you guys have about anything that's going on, I'd be happy to attempt to ask them, but or answer them, excuse me. Yeah, I thought the tree lighting was really nice last week. I'm sure we'll talk about that in January at council because we don't meet in December. I'm sure there was probably some lessons learned, which will make it better, which is great. But I was floored by the amount of people. I didn't expect there to be that many people there, and obviously, Christmas and Santa, but the amount of young families and it always makes me wonder about the demographic of our town and how much it continues to change and how many young families continue to move in and what it's a great community. It's a special community where we live. But yeah, the Christmas in the park will be great. As we know, Hilltop's going, City Center's going, a lot of moving parts. Camelback Park's going. After we get Camelback Park done in a couple of weeks, we're hoping by the end of the year. Then Camelback Wall, pushing the park out, the park getting bigger, the wall going up to 10 feet to match the rest of the walls. New improved turn lane on Camelback going right, going east as you make a right onto Dysart. Yeah, I would be better just if you ask questions.
I do have a question. We were discussing or whatever, how the wall was gonna be. Is there going to be any open space? Okay,
Yeah, so it's basically, you know how it's a flat brick wall right now down to where it drops down.
Yep.
So the wall sits out and then the little pony wall comes in, so the new wall will be flush. So actually Camelback Park's gonna get bigger.
right,
And so that'll be good. And then, yeah, it's gonna go block and then view slats, block and then
Okay.
in like 8 or 10 foot increments. So
okay,
it will not be aesthetically as, you know, pleasing as you're driving down Camelback, but there, you will still be able to look in and see, you know, the golf course and Camelback Park, but
nice.
yeah, and that'll wrap all the way around to about the edge of the park and then it'll stop. And then the last bit of raising the wall to 10 feet, which we've done around the kind of the inner part of the city, is just the rest of Dicer, which I think that's on CIP for maybe 27 or 28, but
Okay, thank you.
yeah. So,
Anybody else? All right, we have no topics to refer to city council, so we are adjourned.